Good evening and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. My name is Micheal Lukomwa, and this is what we have for you at this particular moment. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has today met the Parliamentary Legal Committee at State House Entebbe, led by the chairperson of the committee, Robin Arakojo, and agreed on the way forward as regards to the homosexuality bill. The legal committee will report to the August House on the bill and communicate to the public later on. President Museveni said he has met the legal committee of Parliament and agreed on the way forward, which they are going to report to the bigger body on the bill of the anti-homosexuals. The details will be communicated to the public in due course. Minister of State for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku-Kadochu, has closed a boarding section of Good Care Primary School in Mityana for operating without a license. She was on a routine inspection of primary schools in Mityana district.
On her routine inspection of schools, State Minister for Education and Sports, Dr. Joyce Moriku-Kadochu, has closed Good Care Primary School in Mityana district for operating without a license.
This is very small.
The place is very small. How are we, my daughters and sons? We are fine and high-based by God. Good, we sit down. Which class is this? Primary 7.
2 rooms acting as dormitories housing 5 boys and 15 girls were in poor condition, and some pupils confess to be sharing the same bed, which provides a fertile ground for homosexuality.
Do you know that the Ministry of Education is headed by the First Lady? Now you want to embarrass us and start this kind of thing? No license, no permission to operate dormitory. You are congested dormitory, putting girls to sleep 2-2, others 1. Boys are 2-2, 3-3 on a bed. Very dirty place. What should I do? Tell me. I am the minister.
The minister, accompanied by the RDC Mityana Africano Ahapundira, ordered closure of the boarding section until proper guidelines are followed and a license issued.
I can only allow you to operate as a day school on condition that you are processing the license, but boarding, you don't have the capacity.
The minister also faulted officials in Mubende Municipality's Education Department for not inspecting schools.
The DO and the inspector of schools, municipal, they just come to collect money. Me, I know. Isn't it true? When they come, you give them money and they go and sleep.
The minister also visited Mityana Central College and inspected the school facilities, including dormitories. She was concerned about congestion in the boarding facilities, especially boys' section. She later addressed learners and cautioned them against engaging in homosexuality.
Which morals am I speaking about? Which one? Which one? Excellent. That act is not good. Any students that is involved in that act, we don't want it. We love you. We don't want to dismiss you, but we will be forced to dismiss you for rehabilitation.
Last month, Minister Kadochu indefinitely closed the boarding section at Mubende Public Model Primary School after reports of 7 pupils had been allegedly sodomized by the hostel warden.
Boys, if I hear, the next thing, what will I come and do? What will I come and do? Wonderful, thank you, God bless you all.
Shaidat Nasaku, BBC News.
The Office of the Director for Public Prosecutions has cited that it will be involved in investigations conducted by Police and Criminal Intelligence Division in criminal and capital offences to guide them during prosecution. This has been manifested in the Prosecution Investigations Guidelines launched at the opening of the 3-day second annual Prosecutors Symposium in Kampala.
Uganda, members of top management.
Prosecutors at different levels from various parts of the country are attending a 3-day symposium to share knowledge on criminal justice. The second annual Prosecutors Symposium on the theme, Effective Prosecution of Organized Crimes to Foster Sustainable Development, was opened by Sharon Lesa Nyambe, the head of office, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes.
It is now a rare honor and privilege to declare the 2023 Annual Prosecutors Symposium officially opened.
During the symposium, prosecution-guided investigation guidelines were launched to involve prosecutors in CID and police investigations.
Going forward, we are going to have, especially murder cases, cases of corruption, we are going to have them prosecution guided so that we move together in tandem with the investigators, so that we see what did we do wrong, what didn't we do right in a particular case. It's all a learning experience. But by the time we take cases to court, we actually believe in them, that we are going to succeed.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Her Lordship Jane Francis Sabodo, highlighted on the achievements of the ODPP in the last financial year.
Tackling case backlog. Working together, we made good progress towards our strategic goals, despite significant challenges, which we all know, which were brought up, of course, by COVID-19 as well. I was proud to see how quickly we adapted to each new challenge. And our teams, I could see directorates, several of them in the field, training. I could see divisions, I could see departments, regional officers, units from across the ODPP collaborated with one another to make the most of every opportunity.
Abodo threatened to hold accountable prosecutors found in corruption tendencies.
We have a zero tolerance for corruption policy. Those who get caught in the vice of corruption, the law will take its course. I do not interfere. And as top management, we shall not interfere. Overall, please desist from corrupt tendencies.
In her remarks, the chief guest Sharon Lesa Nyambe, also the head of office, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, urged government to strengthen the ODPP in the fight against organized crimes.
The fight against organized crime requires not only well-trained and well-organized prosecutors, but also prosecutors who are supported and protected by their governments. And I was really happy to note from your speech, Madam DPP, that there's political will to support your office.
The second annual Prosecutors Symposium was on the theme, Effective Prosecution of Organized Crimes to Foster Sustainable Development, and it will run from today until the 27th of April 2023. Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
The National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Program in the Ministry of Health, in partnership with the World Alliance for Lung and Intensive Care Medicine, will conduct a study dubbed Reimagining TB Care in Uganda. The study aims at transforming TB care in regards to medical diagnosis and access to treatment by bringing services closer to communities.
Ministry of Health statistics show that tuberculosis is a public health threat to the Ugandan population, with 90,000 new cases recorded annually. Although Uganda is among the 30 top countries globally with TB, it could end the disease by 2030.
It means in a nutshell that there are not so many people like we have. Right now, it is estimated that about 91,000 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease in this country every year. So when we say ending the disease by 2030, we mean that we will have reduced the number of people that are acquiring this disease annually to the lowest minimum number of people per 100,000 population. That it will no longer be a public health threat as it is now, but something that is very minimal and not a threat to our people anymore.
National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Program in the Ministry of Health, in partnership with World Alliance for Lung and Intensive Care Medicine, WALIM, will conduct a study dubbed Reimagining TB Care in Uganda.
We are looking at transforming the tuberculosis response globally in terms of when, where, what, who, and by what means our TB services can be delivered to the people that need them. And we are basically looking at opportunities for integration.
The study will find innovative solutions using people-centered design that will facilitate integrated community and home-based care for TB screening and treatment to lessen the burden of case detection.
Even when a national TB prevalence survey was done, they saw that many people remain in the queue, meaning that the way we deliver our services based at the clinic and others do not put into consideration the needs of the people. So it is important to understand what are their needs, what do they want, what are their preferences. People have got financial constraints. He cannot come to the clinic unless he's feeling pain. Most people who have TB do not have pain. Even some of them do not cough. For example, in our prevalence survey, we found that 50% of the people who were identified to have TB never even coughed, never had any signs and symptoms. So with such a person, he will continue to go to the market, to go to the shop, to go and do his own work. So until we devise means of how to reach those people beyond that.
The study, funded by Centers for Disease Control, CDC, Korea International Cooperation Agency, and the Stop TB Partnership, United Nations Office for Project Services, will be conducted in the 6 districts of Kampala, Wakiso, Mukono, Mpigi, Kayunga, and Wikwe. Adia Nakuti, UBC.
UBC News Tonight. Now, the Uganda Council on Foreign Relations, in partnership with the European University Institute, has presented policy recommendations that aim at improving Uganda's laws on migration governance and diplomacy, with focus on migrant workers. The increasing number of people seeking to migrate for work has led to concerns that Uganda's policies are not keeping up with the demands of this sector.
There seems to be a direct relation between the limited work opportunities in Uganda and the number of migrants seeking work outside the country. This raises concerns about the welfare of migrant workers.
There are a range of estimates as to how many of our people are in the Middle East. They range from about 90,000 to some people saying there's 100,000 in Saudi Arabia alone, to the organization of the private employment agencies, which claims that there are about 165,000.
This TikTok video shows a girl who claims to be in an Arab state calling out for the family of an allegedly missing or murdered girl. This is a trend that has been witnessed in Uganda over the past decade, with more families of migrant workers reporting cases of abuse and exploitation.
With the coming up with production of petroleum, our economy will somersault many times over, and there'll be enormous opportunities then we can even utilize coming with the oil in Uganda. There'll be many industries, many side industries that will pop up, many opportunities business opportunities will pop up, and this will be able to absorb Ugandans and will avoid them from having to go abroad to look for jobs.
The concern is the lack of labor attaches to accredit foreign recruitment agencies, handle complaints, and inspect workplaces and accommodations for migrant workers in countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates.
I pray that this report, when published, is widely disseminated, and I encourage everyone to read to read it and appreciate and understand migration governance dynamics, policies, and practices, since migration has become a complex phenomenon in global affairs.
The government is also urged to strengthen the existing national coordination mechanisms of migrant workers, enhance the capacity of the external employment management system to accommodate 24-hour complaints by migrant workers, and establish a consular office in every country where there is a sizable number of Ugandan migrant workers.
Today essentially was to provide a policy brief so that we invite all the folks you say coming in. Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Labor, IOM, IGAD, and so on, so that we listen. They listen to this policy brief, and then what we are going to do next is amend it, enrich it with the outcome of these discussions.
It is hoped that the recommendations made by the Uganda Council on Foreign Relations and the European University Institute will be taken seriously by government and appropriate measures be put in place to ensure the welfare of migrant workers. Wadulo Makanold, UBC News, in Kampala.
Kampala Capital City Authority is set to start sectional repairs of 33,750 square kilometers of 37 dilapidated roads and patching of other roads in the city. In a statement presented to Parliament by the State Minister for Kampala, Kabuyecho Fatogabye, the authority has already started pothole patching as they wait for the 6 billion as directed by the President.
In a response to the social media outcry which penetrated the August House, Kampala Capital City Authority took an effort to measure the potholes in square meters.
To save time, I just tell you the square meters in each division of potholes. And
at least 13,500 square meters of potholes were identified in all roads in the 5 divisions of Kampala.
Because some areas have gone beyond that, even if you can't punch a pothole, you'll be like putting a punch on a differ again on another punch, which is no longer sustainable. So we are going to do section repairs in areas covering an estimated 33,750 square meters on 37 critical paved roads, which are severely depleted.
With a boost of the 6 billion as directed by President Yoweri Museveni, Minister Kabuyecho Fatogabye, the State Minister for Kampala, says will add credit. The shortfalls and delays in releases of finances to KCCA has crippled their operations of road maintenance and upgrade.
I need members to appreciate the fact that as you're making roads in Kampala and you don't work on drainages, you would have washed and sprayed in the mud. The two are mutually exclusive. And the rest of being in the city, again it moves with street lighting and beautification.
MPs had their different reactions.
Members, Honorable Speaker, it is so embarrassing. Where we are sitting on a time bomb because of lack of road maintenance.
When you look at the road network, because I happen to sit on the Presidential Committee, government, through Ministry of Finance, is planning to give Kampala only 10 billion. 10 billion. When you go on the slot of drainages, there is zero. Where are we going?
This is a matter which is really, really touching on all of us. And it's a really, really big point of concern. And that's why we had to take it up to this level. But it's a matter beyond KCC. It's also a matter that covers Kampala Metropolitan, especially Wakiso area.
In the recommendations from the Parliamentary Committee on Infrastructure, Minister of Finance has been tasked to release funds to the authority.
Government should endeavor to release funds to KCCA on time to enable it effectively carry out its mandate and also pay off its outstanding debt arrears to contractors in order to avoid interest on the accrued debts.
Minister Kabuye told the House that the authority has a 10-year master plan on construction of roads and drainage system in Kampala, estimated to cost 800 billion capital development annually and 40 billion road fund annually.
Including the roads in the metropolitan area like Chira, Nansana municipality, and Mokono municipality, and also part of the district, Entebbe, Machindi Sabagabo. So
the authority is yet to start construction of drainage systems with funding from the African Development Bank and the Uganda government. Daniel Mugoya, Susan Naonga, UBC News.
The Office of the Inspectorate of Government has released the outcomes of the just concluded exercise of declaration of incomes, assets and liabilities by civil servants, indicating 80% compliance. Betty Kamia, the Inspector General of Government, pins low literacy levels as the main factor that could have kept 20% out of the exercise, warning that they risk facing penalties which include loss of jobs, demotions, or even legal prosecutions.
In 2002, Parliament established the Leadership Code of Conduct, which among others provides for the declaration of incomes, assets and liabilities by civil servants as a way of ensuring accountability, transparency and anti-corruption in the public service sector. Subsequently, the Office of the Inspectorate of Government conducts this exercise biannually, with the most recent concluded on 31st March 2023. The Office of the Inspectorate of Government reveals that of the 31,642 civil servants, only 25,420 complied.
And this is what gave us the score of 80.3%. This implies that 6,222 leaders did not declare as required by law, and this amounts to 20%. 50% of the institutions that were supposed to declare declared the 100% declaration, and we are very grateful for this compliance.
Describing it as a fairly successful exercise, Betty Kamia, the Inspector General of Government, says the 20% civil servants who failed to comply were largely hindered by low levels of computer literacy, though she is quick to warn that it does not spare them from being reprimanded.
They have to justify or explain to the Inspectorate of Government why they were not able or why they did not declare. And if their reasons or excuses are not convincing to the Inspectorate of Government, we then prosecute them. We shall prosecute them before the Leadership Code Tribunal, which is also in place. And depending on the outcome of the Leadership Code Tribunal, sanctions range from a simple penalty to loss of job, to being barred from holding office for 10 years, to demotion, to penalties are as wide as they come.
On this note, Kamia wants the Ministry of ICT to up its game and close the seemingly big computer literacy gap nationwide.
We therefore urge the Ministry of ICT to work with local governments to build the capacity of all government employees to ensure that they are computer literacy. Indeed, I call upon everybody to make it their business to be up to date with the world, otherwise you will be left behind.
When asked whether members of the first family are among those that complied, Kamia declined to comment, saying it is illegal to disclose who declared and who didn't.
You can access that information through provided channels that are legal, and Mr. Magezi will tell you those channels, but I cannot start discussing individuals.
On the other hand, the IGG has proposed for the establishment of a one-stop center-like platform for national database collection. This is after Kame revealed that varying data on the actual number of civil servants in different government ministries, departments and agencies, as well as local governments, is a major bottleneck in tracing for the non-compliant.
What happens now is that information has to be got from different institutions of government. So there was no updated database of leaders, and this delayed the registration on the leaders on the online declaration system.
Meanwhile, the IGG has revealed that a report on the infamous Karamoja iron sheets will be out in a period of less than 3 weeks.
There are cracks in the inventory management, there are cracks in the procurement procedure, there are cracks in the distribution mechanism, there are cracks in the mobilization, in the deciding who is going to take. So it's quite a bit of work. I'm only asking for maybe a maximum of 3 weeks. Then we shall come up with a comprehensive story of our findings in the office of the Prime Minister.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
It's the encounters with our majestic gorillas. The thrill of taking on the falls of the Nile River. The joy of discovering new traditions and a lot more. Join us at the 2023 Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo from the 26th to the 29th of April at the Commonwealth Resort, Munyonyo. Rediscover our country's uniqueness and see what the tourism sector has in store for you. Visit www.poate.co.ug to secure your spot and get set to learn, network and explore. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board in partnership with Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Projects. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
This is a quick call. I'm almost right in minutes.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100 *1 hash. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. State Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja has assured the diaspora security of their property, especially the land they buy while still abroad. He says the ministry has started a mechanism to track the property and can be easily tracked online using phones or computers.
Close to 3 billion every day.
The State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, said the 5 million Ugandans working abroad bring in over 1 billion annually, which is about 3,600 million, which he said is a major source of income for the country. Therefore, they need to be helped in order to keep their property safe.
In light of this, His Excellency the President has directed, as I said earlier, this system is the baby of His Excellency. So, having seen the fruits that is getting into the treasury, 888 billion from the 100 million, he has directed that at least a percentage of what we collect be retained at source, so that the system can work without having to wait for a quarterly release from the ministry. And I think that is going to ensure that it works even better. And the confidence we have now built with the diaspora will enable them to even send more money from the billion down they are sending, I think, to even go to 5 billion.
He said the ministry will launch the Uganda National Land Information System to prevent people from selling land more than once. Track land details online.
With your title, something an alarm will show on your phone that somebody is trying to, then you find out what is happening. Then you may find that somebody is trying to put a caveat and you may question that caveat. So now things, we thank His Excellency for this system. And he has also approved the further loan, which will, I think, complete everything. They will explain the full details. And this system is second to none in Africa. It's the first of its kind. And they will explain to show that you cannot lose any detail when this system works.
Ministry of Lands has worked with other agencies, including the Identity Card Issuing Authority, to verify ownership of the property.
It ensures that the biggest number, except those who have not come off on the system yet,
money goes directly into the treasury, into URA, and to the consolidated fund. So that because of that accuracy and that system in place, last year, without any increase in the tax rates, without any increase in the 0.5% on mortgages, or the 10,000 on research, last year the ministry was able to collect, last budget year, 866 billion.
The president of the Ugandan North American Association, Nairuba Wamala, appreciated government initiative.
We also feel that the government should be on our side, because much as you want us to come and invest back home, we are losing trust in systems such as these. And if we have you as government on our side, working with people such as Mr. Kalukuntima and his company to help us, that will really help us put trust back in the system.
Deo Kalikumutima urged the minister to set up a separate office for overseas land affairs to facilitate them in tracking their property.
The diaspora community has two options: to invest in the diaspora or to invest in Uganda. Therefore, it is imperative and necessary for us to put in place the measures to attract them back home.
Story compiled by Jamil Sekaja for UBC News.
The family of the late Kezekia Katukura and Nyakabilizi of Nyakabilizi Division Busenyi, Ishaka Municipality, is petitioning the President and the Ministry of Lands to intervene in a 46 acres piece of land that is tearing the family apart. The late Katukura passed on in 1972 and left the estate to the family, but now has been solely claimed by Efran Sichomukondi, who denied the rest an opportunity to hear from their side.
nango bunda abandi ntubata kumanya nakoto kuzukuratana konka kura kote zitugire mukuzira tubazabuza ntumshabango azitahemu tutaha ntumusimbiro akata karaga bakunyurre mugwa nbasimbo busisi no banyura tutaha kunyurra mugwango abe president nabwo cyo nitwe twatwine bizubitu na watahemu abitumarre kwarana yoreza abo ba chief justice abohereze kwarana yezira na wataho mushonga zitwa zikuru azirebe nitwe tushasha ino busasi nanga na ba minister shaba mukuru wabaramuzi aizatahemu abo kuba yambara rapote yambara yatoremesa batuchunzi atibine chiba kutugambira aperero kandi tuhora nwenda kubingo mshango mutahorize mweshwara kubingo lya alyo mwitaka gumemu bamwihemu ko kubingana bamayisaje icyo cyo kumusasa
mukadaru kuza kufa ibintu byo bikabyatandikire kubyatandikire mukikuru wikogu wasigireho yabantu yazitandika kubikora ati nkitwe abana bo mukade witu nitwe twasama ka family twaronda munyanyi itwogu naho twamukwase baka yegumana atambura nazo naje nozu umukochi so na hati nibyo barumu mungkin sangeje twakatistama
tumusikati asigeyata akaka batiro muteka kujangu abantu ari side n'abantu ari side tugomba kutiko kubukabona konka wakasikaturi iki aho mukazo batwaro bajo na konkazo bari batwaro bajo amazina gabantu garwa abajya amushangu bizobera ameti ababakanisi
Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Education, have donated 22,000 bar soaps to schools in Karamoja in an effort to fight poor hygiene and related diseases. The items were handed over to Moroto District Education Officer Paul Oputa under the I Wash You Wash Your program.
Health 2021 survey shows that only 36% of Ugandans are engaged in hand washing, with Karamoja having the lowest number of 7%. Recently, various ministries, including Water and Environment, Health, Education and NGOs, launched a program called I Wash, You Wash, with the aim of raising soap for school children in Karamoja to fight poor hygiene in schools. Today, the Commissioner in the Ministry of Water and Environment, Joseph Eyatu, handed over the funds.
Please let them reach the schools. Colleagues, please pass the soap. Let's all pass.
He said many schools in Karamoja are at risk of getting diseases caused by poor hygiene due to lack of soap and clean water.
We are not going to keep going to Kampala. This is a stimulant. 22,000 pieces of soap might not even be equal to the number of children in Karamoja. No. But we want to stimulate their feeling and make them know that washing with soap is good, and we feel that will make them go and tell their parents, please, I need soap for washing my hands.
Dr. Herbert Nabasa, Commissioner in Ministry of Health, said that as a ministry, they have a target of having 50% of Ugandans engaged in hand washing by 2025.
The campaign is going to go on. I believe that this is just one of the campaigns. We need to escalate the campaign and even get everybody on board. We need to get 1 million bars of soap.
Karamoja lags behind as far as hand washing is concerned, 7.6%. So this support is going to promote hand washing, especially in schools.
Motor District Education Officer Oputa Paul thanked the Ugandans who helped them to donate the soap and promised to take it to the relevant schools.
So we are very grateful. Our schools are aware of what WASH is, and we have the WASH clubs in our schools.
Various companies that have supported the program promise to help these children change their health conditions in their communities.
We really thank them because we are standing on this campaign was really standing on our customers to respond to it, and we are really grateful for it.
What could happen when you actually mobilize the community for some good causes? I like why you chose, the reason behind choosing, Karamoja region. We should do more with Karamoja.
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
The agricultural sector is sustained by smallholder farmers, half of whom are women, with limited access to markets and information on supply and demand. The European Union has committed 4.1 million euros to support all smallholder farmers to achieve a reasonable profit margin. The expectations of low profits discourages improvement of the agricultural sector.
Strengthening agriculture knowledge and innovation ecosystem for inclusive rural transformation and livelihoods in Eastern Africa. The 4.1 million euro support to smallholder farmers will aid in value addition, market access and food security. During a field visit to review the projects under the AIT project in Mityana district, a team toured pumpkin growers and dairy farmers. Representing the European Union, Dr. Gerald Den Oden from the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States says the major goal is to help smallholder farmers improve their livelihoods.
Roughly speaking, 1 million euros from our program is being provided to various projects in Uganda. Together with another project, big project we have, which is called the Cohesa. This is about One Health, where you also have Ugandan universities and Ugandan ministries of agriculture involved. We will roughly have 1.3 million euros spent to the agricultural area of domain within Uganda.
The field visit identifies the challenges and success of the funded projects. Dr. Kwaku Atwi, researcher, policy and investment cluster lead at the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa based in Canada, says they are currently implementing 11 third-party projects in Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania.
Is implementing this project called the AIT project together with Asarika and EF, which is a farmer association. The projects are into various value chains, as you've already mentioned, including the pumpkin, where we are currently. They are into the dairy value chain, where they are looking at how to make the dairy industry more productive so that farmers who are involved in it can have improved livelihoods through profitability increased and increased in employment.
One of the key components the project is targeting is the promotion and research on our indigenous crops, market access for African indigenous vegetables and value-added products, pumpkin and other vegetables.
We're talking small-scale farmers, farmers who do not have more than 2 acres of land available to them, but yet linking them to a market that demands, say, 1 ton per week. And as a university, we've actually bred the first ever Nakati varieties. They've been released by the Ministry of Agriculture.
ART project is funded by the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, the European Union, and implemented by FARA, ASERECA, and Eastern Africa Farmers Federation. Mutoni Hilda, UBC.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Tecno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256 GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Towakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3 GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100 *5# to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Tecno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Tecno. Stop at nothing.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
It's the encounters with our majestic gorillas. The thrill of taking on the falls of the Nile River. The joy of discovering new traditions and a lot more. Join us at the 2023 Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo from the 26th to the 29th of April at the Commonwealth Resort, Munyonyo. Rediscover our country's uniqueness and see what the tourism sector has in store for you. Visit www.poate.co.ug to secure your spot and get set to learn, network and explore. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board in partnership with Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Projects. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa. Best group is I teach you. When I go to which the school, because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's serious you. What? Yeah, you step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy milk from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry card.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
After the passing of the Anti-Homosexuality Bill of 2023, the Constitutional Court may quash the bill if it is passed into and assented and assented to as law. Legal counsels advise that Parliament should look into some provisions that are likely to be challenged in the Constitutional Court. We'll get to that story later on. But moving on, Opportunity Bank Uganda and the Office of the Prime Minister have partnered in the Financial Inclusions Project for refugees in the country. The project leader, Noah Sempija, and the head of Business Opportunity Bank, Amos Bona, told UBC that the programs include extending savings, loans, and financial literacy training services to the refugees. Over 1.8 billion Uganda shillings has been budgeted for the 2-year project.
In Uganda are facing a number of economic challenges. For example, when refugees come into the country, they come as they are. They don't come with they don't have color logbooks, they don't have land. The small pieces of land they have that is given to them by the government is not theirs. And so one biggest challenge they face in their bid to access financial services is lack of collateral. And this has, is a big challenge that it has motivated us as Opportunity Bank to design products for the refugees that they are able to access without necessarily requiring them to bring any form of collateral. For example, we have a program which we do extend to refugees into groups, and refugees serve as collaterals for themselves, for each other. They make sure that they remind each other to pay, and they are able to, to get that opportunity to access the loans.
It's going to be phased, so there's going to be funding, and through partners like PHB and consultants, we're going to do a lot of technical services. And we'll have hiring of staff, including financial inclusion officers, who will be rolled out to go out there in the communities and we do the sourcing of the institutions, because it's a 2-generation approach we're taking, but also targeting the ECD institutions, the parents of the children for the ECDs, and the caregivers plus the teachers in these ECDs. So the approach is way laid out because it's going to affect a wide range of people.
Legal experts have warned that the anti-homosexuality bill may be quashed by the Constitutional Court due to some provisions in it. We now take you back to that story of ours.
On 21st March 2023, Parliament passed the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023, aimed at criminalizing homosexuality in the country, which bill was sent to President to pass it into a law. For the long-awaited Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023, the public wants the President to assent to it. During the NRM caucus last week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni rejected to sign the bill into a law, citing some gaps among others on disoriented persons.
The major point of departure is only on the aspect of rehabilitation. So the bill in principle has passed.
The bill, which addresses the vice of homosexuality, was among the few bills passed by Parliament within 2 weeks.
In passing this bill, Parliament really depended on the emotions and the public outcry about this vice, if you call it that, and they legislated emotionally. They needed to do something to catch up with the public outroar. And in the haste, because really this was rushed, there may be some clauses which could have gone in the emotional outburst.
As the bill is bounced back to the Parliament for review, there are some provisions in the bill which are likely to be challenged in court.
If you talk about the issue of the fines given to the media for any form of promotion of homosexuality, it may interfere with the already existing constitutional provisions on the protection of the freedom of the press and the media, because the limitations on the freedom of the press have already been outlined by a court not less than the Supreme Court, saying that there must be those limitations which are in a free, fair, just and democratic society.
Under Provision 14.1a, a fine of 150 currency points or imprisonment for 5 years to any person found promoting homosexuality. But legal minds have different views.
This offence created in the anti-homosexuality bill towards the media meets the test of a limitation in a free and democratic society, because the foundations of the media at work without any fear of either being gagged or possibly committing the crime, as the case may be. And I think that in that case, this may be a challenge, it may be a gag, and I think by passing these provisions, they really opened up the bill for a challenge in the Constitutional Court if it's assented to by the President, and this might even be successful.
So the bill simply tells the media to promote and publish any good information except homosexual information. So the bill only stops the media from publishing homosexual information, which is an offense. So it was right for Parliament to bring an independent bill and make an independent law to address gay behaviors in the country.
Legal minds also say some are not fit to punish those involved in the vice.
Maybe on the sentence for aggravated homosexuality, for me I see 10 years is not good enough. The sentence would be life imprisonment or death.
Vice is as widespread as it is. Why haven't we been having people prosecuted? I don't think it's not been necessarily a challenge of not having an existing law. It's largely been because enforcing such crimes is always hard. The only new aspect maybe would be the issue of promotion that they are brought in, that there are some people who promote or who interest others or recruit others into committing this vice. That's been the only aspect that hasn't been covered under our laws.
But considering other factors, the bill is good. It will be a good law, and I hope the President assents it as early as possible.
Although there are some laws to address the vice, failure to implement them could create a gap.
Homosexual as an offense was covered under defilement, and people could not understand that homosexual is an offense in the country. In the penal code, from section 129, it was about to aggravated defilement, where a man defiles a boy or a child who is under 18 years, or a woman having a sexual intercourse with a girl.
Vice is as widespread as it is. Why haven't we been having people prosecuted? I don't think it's not been necessarily a challenge of not having an existing law. It's largely been because enforcing such crimes is always hard. The only new aspect maybe would be the issue of promotion that they are brought in, that there are some people who promote. That's why we have offenses like prostitution, but not so many people are convicted or even are prosecuted.
Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Over 270,000 Indians living in Uganda have hailed government for the conducive environment that has enabled them invest over $169 million in the past 5 years in Uganda. The Secretary General of the Indian Business Forum, Mohan Reddy, told UBC that out of the 8,617 total registered companies in Uganda, Indians own 1,340 in agriculture, education, manufacturing, direct import and export.
Over 100 Indians in business have been awarded for being good taxpayers to the government coffers in 2022 at a function held at Kabira Country Club in Kampala. The Secretary General Indian Business Forum, Mohana Reddy, said out of 8,617 total registered companies in Uganda, Indians own 1,340 in agriculture, education, manufacturing, direct import and export. Research also indicates that over $169.5 million have been invested in Uganda in the past 5 years.
Association is basically looking after charity activities of all the charity activities such as blood donations, scholarships, etc.
Sidilu Parelia, a member of trustees of the Indian Association in Uganda, noted that so far they have contributed to the country's economy.
The business people, the business institutions are members here, and all of them, apart from doing business, they also have a lot of social activities. Like they support. Last year they supported 100 heart operations, out of which 58.
The former chairperson of Indian Association in Uganda, Mohana Lau, says the association was formed in 2014 to promote business in the country.
We have invested over $1 billion shillings in the Ugandan economy, and we also contribute like 60 to 65% of Uganda revenue from Indian and Indian origin businesses. There are total around 8,600 companies registered in Uganda, out of which 1,340 are Indian companies or Indian origin people owned companies.
Over 350 million shillings is contributed to the Uganda Revenue Authority for revenue monthly, and the Indian community employs more than 1,500 Ugandans. The financial control of Fairway Hotel, Shivi Mahati, promised to provide better services in the hospitality sector.
As we clarified that what is our mission and vision, and we are continuously committed towards fulfilling our vision and mission to create a memorable experience for all of our guests by giving them value for money. So when we talk about value for money, that means whatever they have paid for, they should get more out of it.
Stephen Kayumba compiled the story.
It has been confirmed that Nambole Stadium will not be ready to host Crane's game against Algeria. FIFA has chosen Cameroon as the host nation for Uganda's home game in June. The Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, had earlier on promised that Nambole would be ready, but work in progress to see the stadium meets international standards. FIFA President Moses Magogo and stadium officials earlier had toured around the stadium before coming up with an official statement.
We had been given the assurance by the Honorable Minister of Sports that our home ground, Mandela National Stadium, would be ready. And yesterday, before submitting the venue, we made a visit to Mandela National Stadium, and we've since found that they won't be in a position to give us the facility before the date as required by CAF. Definitely, as the executive of FIFA, upon the consultations, we have taken a decision that our next game against Algeria will be hosted in Cameroon. And considering a number of factors, the connections to Cameroon are good. The visa requirements are okay, but most importantly, Cameroon will also give us an international friendly. Considering it's a 10-day FIFA window, we are able to get a friendly because Cameroon, in their group, they do not have an opponent to be playing this during this break. So they give us the international friendly, but at the same time, they also give us the venue. As we all know, Cameroon has just hosted the Africa Cup of Nations, so they have over 3 different venues that are acceptable to CAF. And that's why the executive has taken a decision to host Algeria in Cameroon. We realized that there is no progress. On the 4th of November 2021, there was a decision taken by Parliament to award Nambole the money they needed, that's 97 billion. And this money has since been released by the Minister of Finance. But when you look at the progress of work, there's no significant update that is going on as far as the construction is concerned.
That is all we had for you tonight. Thanking you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa. Enjoy the rest of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring